I can't speak on what people opinions are because everyone have their own opinions. But what I can continue to do is tell the truth, and that is I've never assaulted or disrespected or harassed any woman in my life.
This was also a common theme. Just those three things right there. Never assaulted, never disrespected, and never harassed any woman in my life. You want another example of this? Let's go to about 10 minutes later. I'm sure that this was the plan that he came into the press conference with. Whenever I feel like I am against the ropes, I'm going to come back with this statement.
22 women filing these suits. What can you tell us about what actually happened with these women? Are you saying that they all just made this up? They're all lying? What actually happened?
All I can say is, again, I never assaulted, I never disrespected, and I never harassed any woman in my life. I wasn't raised that way. My mom and my aunties didn't raise me that way. Of the course of my life, that's not in my DNA. And as far as the details of actually the things that they're alleging, I can't speak on that because there's an ongoing investigation. But, in the future, once everything is resolved, I will sit down and love to talk about it.
I really wonder about that last part. Whoever coached him pretty well. Never assaulted, never disrespected, never harassed any woman in my life. Pause. Can't speak on anything because there's an ongoing investigation, but when I can, I'll talk about it. And I'm sure he is counting on the fact that we, as people who cover stories like this, whether it's in news or in sports, 15 minutes later, 15 days later, 15 months later, all of a sudden a story like this is relatively forgotten and we're focused on the next big thing in front of us. Is there going to be due diligence done with Deshaun Watson in the future? Is he actually going to be transparent in the future? No, he's not. Why would he be? He wants to get this behind him as quickly as he possibly can. Does he have a problem? Let's go back a little bit in the press conference to about 23 minutes or so. This is Deshaun Watson being asked if he would do some sort of counseling.
Personally in terms of counseling or whatever else it would take to show that you'll go the extra mile to make sure nothing like this ever happens again?
I It's hard for me to say the counseling part because I don't have a problem. I don't have an issue, and that's what I've been saying from the beginning. So this situation is definitely is tough and it's very difficult. But me as a having a problem going to counseling and things like that, I'm willing to talk to people about certain situations to make sure I'm not getting back in this. But like I said before, I never assaulted anyone, never disrespected anyone. I've always
There
been
it is again.
respectful, and that's what I've always stood on, and that's who I am as a person.
Never assaulted anyone, never disrespected anyone, never harassed any women. Just consistently said throughout the press conference. That was the game plan. One more time. Would you do counseling? I don't have a problem or an issue, you also heard him say there, but I am willing to talk to people to make sure I'm not getting back into this. Well, is that because you're addressing a problem, or are you just doing this so that people are going to stop annoying you? Seems like the latter, right? If you don't have a problem, then why would you do it? In fact, you would be a little more defiant in this spot, I would think, than you've been for the most part coming out of the two grand juries that have not pressed any charges criminal-wise against you, right? I mean, he doesn't have a problem. It really felt, you watched the whole entire press conference, there didn't seem to be any regrets anywhere, and I'm not going to say I'm like, oh, God, I'm so disgusted coming out of it. I feel like I've kind of exhausted all emotions when it comes to all things Deshaun Watson.